Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Manda's Matters, and today I wanted to just kind of give you a little chat time with me about our recent vacation. So, let's get into it. So we decided to take all of the boys to Nashville for the Nashville shores, and we also wanted to go to Opry Mills. So a few days before, I tried to get a van, rent a van, because we have vehicles, but none of our vehicles will hold all 6 people. So we usually try to get a van or something, large like that to, so we're all in one vehicle. It didn't work out this time. So we ended up taking 2 of our vehicles, me and my boys in one car and him and his boys in the other. We were going on the interstate. So interstate and me really don't get along. And I was having a little bit of trouble because I don't like the semi trucks and all of that. And Nashville has a lot of curves and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I was having a hard time. Anyway, it was after 126. So between 126 and 143, I start hearing a sound in the car. And he's, kind of ahead of me. I've kind of going a little slow on there because, again, I don't want to be on the interstate, but you do what you got to do sometimes. And I start hearing this sound. And my car, a lot of times, my license plate will make like a clicking sound, like it's slapping the back of the Jeep. So I thought, man, that sure is really loud. So I asked my boys, like, do y'all hear that? Where do you think that's coming from? And it sounded like it was on the passenger side in the back. So 148 came up, and so I got off on the exit and found a place to stop. And I had this really big nail in the back of my passenger side tire. So great start for the trip. First, we don't have a van to go in, so I'm gonna have to drive. And now I have never ever had a flat tire like this. Never had a flat tire on the interstate for sure. And he was ahead of me, so I had to call him. I found it. It was like this much of it was sticking out. I'm like, I could just barely touch it and it would go, so air was coming out. And I was like, you're gonna have to turn around, you're gonna have to come and help me. I'm looking for the spare tire, so I was taking all of our stuff out. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I look like National Lampoon's Vacation, where all of their stuff falls out. So I have all of our bags out of the trunk, and I'm looking, and I have no spare tire. My Jeep does not have a spare tire. I was like, I don't have a spare tire. What am I supposed to do? And I look up, and the place was, I think it was Barnett's, and it was a wrecker and tire repair shop, was where I stopped. So I told Marcus that, and I said, maybe I'll call these people, see if they can help us. And so I called them, and at that time, the place that I stopped at, they didn't have the stuff needed at that certain place to do what I needed. So he's like, hey, if you'll go 5 miles back on the interstate, we can help you out. I said, well, you think I can make it? I said, my tire pressure's at 22 right now. He's like, yeah, just as long as it doesn't get, it doesn't get below 10 or 12, you should be fine. Just don't go, super fast on the interstate, don't go above 60. So Marcus got there, we looked at it, and I ended up having one of those kits. It's like a fix and go. So we didn't try to fix it. We just aired up the tire as best we could, so it got up, higher than what it was to make it the 5 miles back. Made it the 5 miles. The guy plugged the tire, could not patch it, just had to plug it, and we got the tire fixed. So then we make it the rest of the way to Opry Mills. And so let me go back for a second. Also, something that happened was one of my boys is diabetic. He's type 1 diabetic, and he was, we were making sure we had everything and all of his insulin and extra pens and alcohol pads and stuff. And he had to change out his cartridge, and he drops the cartridge on the floor and it breaks. A brand new cartridge. So that was something else that I had forgotten to say that I wanted to add in. On top of not getting a van, on top of getting a flat tire, he broke a brand new cartridge of insulin, which is, 2 or 3 weeks worth of his insulin gone. You have to throw it away. It's the glass. It's not working. It doesn't work anymore. Anyway, so back to getting to Opry Mills. We get to Opry Mills. We go in. We having a good time. Our main thing we wanted to go to was the Lego store. We get to the Lego store, and we've already bought some, the candy shop. We went in there and everything, and we get some bags of candy, and then we're looking around at the Lego store, and another one of my boys, as we were leaving, he's swinging his bag of candy, and all of a sudden, right at the entrance, all of his candy, well, not all of it, but a lot of his candy just pours out middle of the entrance of the Lego store. So I'm like scooping it up with my shoe. I'm trying to get it into a, it's very embarrassing. Trying to get it into a pile, and they're like, oh, well, don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll take care of it. We'll sweep it up. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, So, no van, broken insulin cartridge, flat tire, and then a big spill at the place we wanted to go to. I thought the mall was just gonna be like a giant store. It was just like a whole bunch of stuff on the sides. Not walking in five. So then we get to, we're gonna have to eat supper before we go to the hotel. And we wanted to eat in Opry Mills. So Rainforest Cafe, we had 6 people. That was gonna be way too expensive. They didn't want to eat at the aquarium restaurant. We decided on TGI Fridays. So we make it all the way back to where that is, and it's a 30-minute wait. Just like we had already done everything we wanted to do in the mall. We were done. We just wanted to eat and leave. So we went back and forth of what we're going to do. We could just eat in the food court and be done, or wait the 30 minutes and then have to wait on the food and all of that. Well, ended up, we really didn't want to have to wait that long. They said they were short-staffed, so it made it sound like they were going to be a long time. So we went and we found, I had the bourbon chicken at the Cajun Grill. They wanted Popeyes. Popeyes only had chicken wings and chicken legs. Their favorite place to eat, that's all they had. So a few of them went to Burger King to get their food, and then, so Parker was the only one that couldn't find anything. So he wanted to find the Cinnabon store, which is the food court. It's one way, then you had to go all the way around past the Rainforest Cafe to find Cinnabon. So he got Cinnabon little bites, and we were done. Go in there. No. So, make it to the hotel, and yay, our 2 rooms are not together. At first, they were on 2 different floors. Why would you put a family on 2 different floors? So they fixed that, they put us on the same floor, and I said, do you have any of the rooms that have the door in between, so that we could just leave the door open, and it would be like, just one big room with 2 beds in each one? No, they didn't have any of those. So we ended up being 12 rooms apart. So he and his boys stayed in one room, and we stayed in the other. I'm just like, okay, now we have the van, no van, broken cartridge, flat tire, spilled in Legos, crazy supper, and now our hotel rooms are not even right together. So, got through all of that. We spent the night. It was a decent night. We we got cleaned up and get ready for the next day. We go down for breakfast. Breakfast ended up being fine. We didn't have any big problems there, thank goodness. And we decided that we were not going to stay another night. That was a debate we were going to have, if we wanted to stay another night or not. So we said, no, we'll just go home right after we get done with Nashville Shores. And that was it. So we ate breakfast, but then it was still 2 hours before Nashville Shores was going to be open. So we went back to our rooms, packed up, and then just kind of chilled for a while. And then we headed out to Nashville Shores. We got there a little after 10, and because it was like 5 minutes from the hotel. And we had a really good time. We didn't have any troubles there that I can remember. They got to go on slides. I got to get in the wave pool, the lazy river. Those are my two favorites. And then they got to do all the slide stuff. And then we had to eat. So eating there is expensive. I mean, like, each little basket that they had was $10. Their drinks on top of that was $4 each. So, like, we ended up spending, under the Dippin' Dots, we got Dippin' Dots, and that was almost $40 for Dippin' Dots. And then we got our food later, because the Dippin' Dots was like to hold us over for all the lines for the food to die down. We ate later. And I stayed in line for everybody. They were chilling and a couple of them were on the slides. I got part of him. There's Jackson.
Right.
Parker.
Get one or two plates. Get one or two plates.
There he is. And I'm just standing there waiting, and we get there, and Marcus and I were going to share a basket because it was going to be a little bit cheaper that way. Ended up only having 3 chicken strips in there, and I was hungry. He said he wasn't that hungry, but we split it, and I'm just starving, so we split it. They were good sized chicken, but not enough for 2 people. Kanan got a corn dog. I mean, it was big long corn dog, and Daxton got a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. The other 2 boys didn't want anything. So that was I think that was around $50 just for those things. Crazy. But they won't let you have food or drink outside of their food. So you just have to do what you have to do. You either have to leave and go get food or eat what they have. So we stayed at that park for about 6 hours. And then we were going to drive home. And Marcus was nice enough to decide to not take the interstate back. That was what I was wanting. I wanted to take the slower route, which was going to take another hour on top of the 2-hour drive that it took us to get there. So it was going to be over 3 hours to get home. We stopped to get gas right after we left the shores and got some food just to kind of tide us over until we got home. And I mean, it was a very peaceful drive. For the whole time we were in Nashville through, maybe till after Dixon, it was a lot of a couple miles, here's a red light, a couple miles, here's a red light. So that was annoying a little bit, but after that, it was nice. It was just nice and pretty. We only had to stop one more time just to use the bathroom, and then we made it home by 8 o'clock. And by that time, I did not want to have to go back to town to get anybody food. I just like, we're just going to eat what we have in here. I said I can make us a little, like a breakfast meal, and we'll just have breakfast for supper and then be done with it. So that's what we did. And we ended up having a really good time. It just seemed like we were kind of on the National Lampoon's vacation train. So, one more thing I forgot to mention was that we all got sunburned. I just want to share that with y'all. I'll show a couple of clips, if you hadn't already seen them, depending on where I put them in the video, of Opry Mills and some of the slides. So I'll put that in the video as well somewhere. Could be at the end, could be in between where I'm talking. Yeah, so I just want to update y'all on what happened. And if you're on Instagram and you want to follow me, it's at mymanda04102118. That's going to be in the description below. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I do post other things there that I don't post on YouTube. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. This is my first one. I'm really just kind of updating you on what happened. I just wanted to come on here and have a conversation with you. So if you stay to the end, please comment below that you enjoyed this kind of video, or if you want to see something different from me, whatever you want to say, please comment below to let me know that you stayed that long. Please like the video if you like this content. And I'll see you next video. Bye, guys.